So, were you an It fan from like way back when? Did you ever read the book?
Yeah, I liked it when I was read it in high school, and then I saw the miniseries when I was in middle school.
What do you remember the miniseries?
The spider, and then and like everybody, like Tim Curry, it was just he was so good in that. Yeah, it was amazing.
So when they called you and said, "Hey, we're putting together the sequel to the $700 million blockbuster," It.
They didn't say that. Weirdly, no one ever talks about numbers on these things. They just kind of go like, "Hey, would you want to do this?" It's always, we don't see. No one ever looks at it that way. But I didn't really know how big of a hit the first one was until we started doing press for it.
Really?
Yeah, it was like I just knew I liked it, but I don't really pay attention to that stuff. So it wasn't until we were doing press and people told us like, "We know it's the biggest R-rated horror movie or whatever," and
of
I'm
all
like,
time.
Wow, that's crazy.
So Finn puts it out there that he wants you to play him, the adult version.
Yeah.
So you get the call. So then do you sit down with Finn? Do you try to like study his mannerisms?
No,
Nothing
not
like
at all. No. It was. I saw the movie. I saw it in the theater, and then I watched it again on the plane on the way to Toronto. It happened to be on the plane, so I sat and watched it again, and then that was about it. And so much of it is, casting or them seeing something in us that helps it, and so I know that was why I enjoyed doing it.
So tell us, chapter 2 begins. Where's Richie at? Where's he in his?
Richie's a stand-up comedian. He's actually doing quite well, and gets the call from Mike, and he's like everybody. He's forgotten about what happened to him 27 years ago, or what happened to everybody, and going back and seeing Mike is kind of what brings it all back.
So what is it? What does it represent?
I think it's just fear, and also I always find it's this weird insecurity thing, but also like the worst things that have happened to you that have defined you, and how you have to kind of get past that. I think everybody has something.
What was Richie's?
Fearful. Well, I think Richie had an issue, especially growing up in a small town and everything, with his sexuality, and I think he liked. And I think the real first time I ever actually felt love for somebody was Eddie, in his own way of dealing with it. And like a lot of comedians, you're really funny, but your comedy, use comedy as a boundary between other people, and also as a boundary in your own feelings, And there's probably something, like Pennywise says, "I know your secret." It's a thing that he doesn't think anybody knows about. It's a thing he doesn't even understand about himself, probably. So, I think going back for him was having to kind of face that aspect of himself, and what's kind of tragic about the movie is that he can't really consummate that with the person he loves, and not just in a sexual way, but just in a actual emotional way, and but hopefully he has a understanding of an acceptance of who he is. Yeah.
And tell me about that scene in the lake, just when all of you just
crying.
And
That was.
Where'd you shoot that?
We shot that. I want to say outside of Hamilton, Ontario, but it was freezing, and it was summer, and it was freezing, and we had a long talk about what the scene should be, and we were all sitting in water, and we were all freezing. I just remember Jessica Chastain's lips turned completely blue.
And her fair skin.
And I was really going, blue. We need to get her out of the water. and then Jessica was nice and got us B12 shots. And so we went up, and there was this doctor sitting there, and he gave us all B12 shots because we were out in the cold water.
B12 shots work?
I don't know, but if it was a placebo, I don't know what it was. It was heroin. I'll just say it was heroin. I said B12, but it was all we all shot up after the thing. No, but it was fun. It was nice it was nice shooting that scene, and I hope people liked it.
What was your last day on set like?
Last day on set is actually my scene with Pennywise.
The one when you're running away from him.
Yeah, that was my
Wow.
very last day on set. That was it was like I shot that and then hightailed it to the airport and got on a plane back to LA. But I shot that, with Bill, and it was a blast. And then, my very first shot of the movie is hitting the gong and saying the Losers Club is just, this meeting of Losers Club has begun. And then my last shot was when I get handed the pamphlet with my funeral service thing on. I looked down on it, and that was, I shot that, and then they were like, that's a wrap.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you know from the beginning that Richie was gay, or is it something that evolved?
That was something that we talked about when I arrived.
Mm-hmm.
I learned about all this stuff about people thinking they're gay and not knowing if they're gay, or and that it was implied in the book, and then I think Stephen King said it was never, he never thought of it that way, but he likes the interpretation. And then, and I talked to Andy about it, and we had a long conversation, and we just decided, like, oh, let's just do it,
And the film does, I talked to you a little bit about this the other night, the film really, as much as it's a supernatural and, this crazy dancing clown, it's dealing with some really heavy issues.
Yeah,
the
domestic
beginning,
violence.
You
Yeah,
look at this opening scene.
Yeah, and that's, I guess it's based on a real event. And
Yeah.
I kind of like that because it was, it's like, no, now we're grown-ups now, and when you grow up, those kind of things are the things that scare you. It's not so much the monsters or whatever. It's like you see something on the news and you go, oh gosh, if that happened to me, or worse, someone I love or I care about.
Right.
And, now you go, well, now I can't go into that part of town anymore. Now when I leave a carnival, I need to go with like 5 friends, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, it changes your life, because you're trying to avoid those things.
So what did you think the first time you saw Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise?
It was great. I mean, he's just a great guy, so it didn't really affect us too much, but we, it was just like, oh, there's Bill, and then mostly that how uncomfortable he was, and then that he never complained about it. I don't know how I would have been like, can I please take these contacts out or whatever, and he just, we shot on a soundstage with him for a long time for the ending, and they were pouring ice down his back. I remember they had just these big things of ice, and they were just putting it down his back because he was so hot.
Wow.
It was so hot on those sets, and he was just, it was just steamy, and ugh, oh my God.
Sounds glamorous.
Yeah, no, man. I remember PJ and I and Isaiah were all like, oh man, I'm going kind of crazy when we were shooting the whole end scene, because it was just long hours and those blinking lights all day, and it was easy to go a little cuckoo. Yeah.
Did they have a therapist on set to make sure
No,
you
I
did?
should have. Yeah, no, we all started going like, oh my God, this is going nuts, So we had a soccer ball, so we would run out in the back and just,
That's how you blew up
with the crew and everybody, because the crew had it worse than we do, and we have trailers and stuff,
Right.
and they're sitting there for hours and hours, and so these kind of, like, it wasn't soccer games, it was just kicking a soccer ball around, but it was fun.
And then Jessica just covered in that fake blood.
Yeah, and then
There's
she was really
nothing
cold
more
in the blood.
uncomfortable.
And then she was cold in the fake blood, so it was this thing of like, she's cold, Bill's hot, it's just trying to figure the whole thing out. But yeah, no, everybody had something that they were uncomfortable with, or I pulled a groin muscle and had to go to the doctor, and like,
Was that from running from Pennywise?
yeah, running from the when
really?
the big thing comes
Right.
out, and we all turn around and run.
And did you know you pulled it right
Oh,
when you pulled
immediately.
it?
I just fell right down, and I was like, I just pulled my groin muscle. It was like, oh no. And I had to get an MRI on it. It stunk. They just...
MRI on a pulled groin?
Or what do you call it? Yeah. They did some sort of thing, and I was just like laying there, like, oh gosh, how did I do this?
So what is it about clowns?
I don't know.
I'm not scared of clowns.
I've never been afraid of clowns, but people... PJ had a good thing, which is like clowns are kind of the first thing when you're a kid that are funny and they play with you and everything. So if that thing turned out to be evil, if that thing was trying to get you, like psychologically, that nothing's safe, that everything
Like,
has some ulterior motive.
Halloween, I go as a clown.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah,
It's
no,
fun.
I've never been afraid of clowns. Insurance salesmen, I don't like them.
No, especially, but not when they're dressed as clowns.
No,
they're okay.
yeah, when they're clowns, it's fine. 'Cause I'm like, oh, you're not an insurance salesman.
So do you have your Emmy speech written?
No,
Why
I
not?
don't
You got to
think
be
about
prepared,
that.
no?
No. I don't.
Because you have a good shot.
Nah, I don't know. I don't think I know. But everybody else is, but there's some great, Eugene Levy and Ted Danson and all those people are pretty great. And I love Fleabag. I just think that show's amazing. So everybody says it's just nice to be in the conversation,
Did you expect when you were first? Because Barry took a while to get made.
Yeah, it took 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So how sweet is it to see the success?
Yeah, no, it's nice, especially with all these great shows on television. To be
rise to the
part
top.
of that is pretty. It's pretty great. I mean, mostly I think because we just start writing it, or I start working on it in 2 weeks. That you're just trying to keep track of the story and understand where all the characters are and stuff. So it's just the making of the thing is really exciting, and then all this other, the award stuff is a great surprise, and it's a massive honor. And I mean, getting to call Anthony Kerrigan and telling him like, hey man, you got nominated for an Emmy.
So great.
And he was like, he just couldn't believe it. So, it was
So
very
how many
sweet.
seasons do you see it going?
I don't know, man. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't want to put a number on it because I know it'll change. So,
But do you
I
have
don't
the
know.
story thought out?
Yeah, well, there's something that we always knew that it needed to hit, and it was in our initial thought,
Right.
like when we first talked about it, and we haven't gotten to that yet. And every season, I write that on the board of like, okay, and then this happens, and then in season 1, a bunch of story kind of pushed that off the board, and then season 2, I put it up there again, and then we came up with more story, and it pushed it off the board again. So hopefully, season 3, we can get to that place,
Right.
and then we'll have a better idea of how much longer we got.
And Leslie Jones announced she's leaving SNL.
Yeah.
What's your advice to someone that weekend that they wake up and they're like, they're not doing it?
You know what? It was hard for me to watch it. It was really
it?
hard for me. Yeah, I sat down, I got like popcorn, I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch it, and the show, and it's gonna be great. And then it was watching your Gaming Polar said it's like watching your own funeral. You just feel like,
Wow.
well, I'm not there, and everyone else is there, and this is weird. And so I couldn't finish the episode, and I went and saw the movie Prisoners, which is really dark.
Wow.
So I went to a late screening of Prisoners. I go, I just need to get out of my house. And I went, because I was like, I'm feeling kind of sad. And I went to Prisoners and was
the-
like, what? This was a terrible, that's a great movie. But I was
Did
like,
you read
this
the
is
long
so.
line?
I just like Denny, I can never say his name, Denny,
yeah.
phenomenal
Yes.
director. And I was always excited about that. But I just went, what was I thinking? This is so dark,
How long did it take you to finally be able to watch it comfortably?
Probably when I went back and hosted.
Really?
Yeah, it took me a while. Yeah, it was hard to, just because it's like your house. It's
Right.
like your home, So, but yeah, I love it though. Yeah.
Awesome. Bill, thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Always so
Thanks.
great.
Yeah, thank you.